King Amanullah Khan, the modernizing monarch of Afghanistan. King Amanullah Khan, often referred to as Ghazi Amanullah Khan, was one of the most visionary and transformative leaders in Afghanistan's modern history. He ruled Afghanistan from 1919 to 1929 and is best known for leading the country to full independence from British influence, as well as for initiating a series of ambitious reforms aimed at modernizing Afghan society, economy, and government. Early life and rise to power. Amanullah Khan was born on June 1, 1892, in Paman, near Kabul. He was the son of Emir Habibullah Khan, who ruled Afghanistan under a semi-autonomous relationship with the British Empire. Amanullah was educated privately and grew up in a relatively liberal and progressive court. He was deeply influenced by modernist ideas, including nationalism, constitutionalism, and the independence movements occurring in other parts of the world. In 1919, after the assassination of his father, Amanullah Khan quickly took power in Kabul and declared himself king. One of his first and most important moves was to declare Afghanistan's full independence from British control, marking the beginning of the Third Anglo-Afghan War. Though the conflict was short, it forced the British to sign the Treaty of Rawalpindi, recognizing Afghanistan's independence in foreign affairs. This made Amanullah a national hero, earning him the title, Ghazi, meaning, warrior for the faith. A vision for reform. With independence secured, Amanullah turned his attention toward internal reforms. He believed that Afghanistan could not remain isolated and stagnant while the rest of the world modernized. Drawing inspiration from Ataturk's reforms in Turkey and Western models of governance, Amanullah began a comprehensive effort to modernize Afghanistan politically, socially, and economically. He introduced a new constitution in 1923, which guaranteed civil rights, promoted education, and attempted to limit the powers of tribal leaders and religious authorities. He also tried to promote women's rights, encouraging girls' education and discouraging the use of the veil burqa, though this met with resistance from conservative parts of Afghan society. Amanullah also focused on building modern infrastructure, including roads, schools, hospitals, and telegraph lines. He established diplomatic relations with many countries, including the Soviet Union, Germany, and Italy, hoping to reduce Afghanistan's dependency on Britain and create a more balanced foreign policy. Foreign travels and influences. In 1927–1928, Amanullah Khan and Queen Suraya undertook an 8-month tour of Europe, the Middle East, and North Africa, visiting countries like Egypt, Italy, France, Germany, and the United Kingdom. The royal couple was warmly received in many of these nations, and their travels were widely covered in the international press. Amanullah was deeply impressed by the progress and industrialization he saw during his travels. Upon returning to Afghanistan, he accelerated his reform programs, hoping to transform Afghanistan into a modern nation. However, his push for rapid change, especially in the areas of women's rights, secular education, and clothing reform, alienated many conservative and tribal factions. The backlash and fall from power. The speed and scale of Amanullah's reforms sparked widespread opposition, particularly among tribal leaders and Islamic clerics who saw his policies as an attack on traditional Afghan values. The central government's authority was not strong enough to enforce these reforms across the entire country, especially in rural areas where tribal customs were deeply entrenched. In 1928, a tribal uprising led by Habibullah Kalakani, a Tajik rebel also known as Baka-yi Sakau, son of the water carrier, began to gain momentum. The rebellion spread quickly, and by early 1929, Kabul fell to the rebels. Amanullah, in an effort to avoid civil war, abdicated in favor of his brother but soon left the country altogether. He went into exile, eventually settling in Italy, where he lived until his death in 1960. Legacy. Although Amanullah Khan's reign ended in failure, his legacy remains significant. He is remembered as a national hero and a symbol of Afghan independence. His efforts to modernize Afghanistan were bold and ahead of their time, though ultimately unsuccessful due to the conservative nature of Afghan society and the lack of strong state institutions. In modern Afghanistan, many regard Amanullah as a visionary leader who genuinely wanted to improve the lives of his people. His life reflects the deep challenges of balancing tradition with modernity, a challenge that Afghanistan continues to face to this day. In 2004, the Afghan government posthumously recognized Amanullah Khan with honors, and his mausoleum in Jalalabad has been restored. He remains a powerful symbol of national pride, reform, and independence. For more information about Afghanistan, the region, and the world, Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your support means a lot to us. King Amanullah Khan, the modernizing monarch of Afghanistan. King Amanullah Khan, often referred to as Ghazi Amanullah Khan, was one of the most visionary and transformative leaders in Afghanistan's